My name is Scott Batch, and this is Surf Lessons with Scott Batch. Today is episode number 3, and it's titled, I want to learn how to surf, but I have some serious limitations. This is a third episode in a series of 50 episodes that are called the First 50. And what those are the 50 things that I wish I knew when I first started surfing when I was 16. So I'm going to be kind of teaching this series as if I'm teaching it to my 16-year-old self, because I can go pretty hardcore on some things, and you'll see when we talk about self-evaluation of physical fitness. That'll be on the next episode, in episode 4. But I set the bar pretty hard, or pretty high, but you don't need to. You can go at your pace and do what you need to do so that you can get in the water and feel comfortable. That's the whole idea right out the bat. The idea with learning how to surf is not necessarily rushing out and going out and trying to surf where all the techno surfers are, but the number one thing is to get comfortable in the water and to feel safe. So in today's episode, what I'll be focusing on is getting some information from a specific surf group that you could check out, and it's all about helping people that have physical, mental, or emotional limitations, and then you might be able to reach out to them. In addition, what I'll also be talking about is trying to help lower the expectations of what you might go get involved in the first time you go to the beach to go surfing. Instead of it being like the worst experience of your life, by studying the forecast, the surf conditions, and all the things I'll be talking about in the first 50, it can make that first experience so much better. And you might see that even though you might have some limitations, just listening to the information provided for the first 50 videos, I hope can help alleviate some of those uneasy feelings that you might have about surfing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm also working on my own limitations with this paddleboard right here. This is not a long one. It's only a 9.2. It's meant for surfing. It's not really meant for flat water paddling. The flat water paddling ones are longer, more aerodynamic. This one's for surfing. But I'm trying to get ready for surfing in Huntington Beach this summer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook it to my harness here, and then I'm gonna start paddling out there. And so you'll see kind of this view the whole time I'm talking. But really, this is all information, and so you just put it on while you're cruising down the road, and I hope I can give you some good information. Also, make sure to check out episode 4, which is about self-evaluating your physical fitness before you even get near the beach. All right, so let's go. We're off. Water surface is nice and calm today, which is good. We have we're at a high tide right now, which is good because it'll cover all these. It'll mean that the water level will be above all these rocks that I'm about to go over between these piers. That's something that we'll talk about in one of the upcoming episodes, where we'll talk about weather, conditions, and tides. So today we're talking about people wanting to learn how to surf, but they feel like their limitations may be preventing them from getting in the water. And one organization that I'd encourage you to check out is called Access Surf. I met them in Hawaii. There's a great bunch of people, and I think they're all over the US. So even if you're in another country, you can, you know, check out their information, because what they talk about when dealing with limitations is kind of universal. So pretty much good information for wherever you're trying to go. And I think there's a chapter here in San Diego too. So I've seen them have some contests, and they do a lot of get-togethers on the weekends. And there's people with all kinds of limitations. So they have quite a bit of experience about helping people out. Secondly, I think that if you watch all 50 of these videos, that it'll alleviate, hopefully it'll alleviate some of your fears about going and learning how to surf, because I make it so easy. It's crazy. And that kind of comes from me personally wanting to learn how to work together with the waves instead of working against them. So even when I go to like a really good place, like surfing on the North Shore of Hawaii, that's where I got to do a lot of paddleboard surfing too. Places like Makaha, and I did regular surfing at places like Sunset, and got to paddleboard all over the North Shore, and then all over Waikiki area. So yeah, I lived there for 3 years, and it was paradise. But whenever I'm surfing, I want to make my surf time out there as easy as possible. And so it's the same thing when you're just learning. How can I make things as easy as possible so I can go and have a chill day and I can have fun? So one of the biggest things is if I can lower my expectations, so that at the end of the day it was just about getting some exercise, getting a step closer, getting a little bit better, and getting in the water. If I can accomplish those things, it was a good day. And then the next time I come down, if I can improve just a little bit more, then it was an even better day. I think that what happens is that after having taught thousands of people how to surf, one of the biggest things is people think that on the first day they're just going to come out and kill it, and they'll be out there surfing on the normal waves like all the quote-unquote surfers are doing. But that's not realistic at all. Sorry to crush people's hopes and dreams, but going out in the lineup like that on day one is so dangerous because there's so many unwritten rules out there. So like, let's say for example, a wave comes in and 5 people catch it. Really, waves are only really meant to be ridden by 2 people, one going left and one going right, and that's it. And everybody else should just get out of the way. Well, when people go out there and they don't know that, then it's a free-for-all and people end up getting hurt. And then there's a lot of arguments and things like that. And so the way to prevent it is by sticking to the inside where the whitewash is until you're pretty good surfing that whitewash. And usually that's going to be weeks and months of hanging out on the whitewash. And what it really is doing is it's paying your dues and being respectful to the people who are on the outside surfing the waves on the outside. For example, when I moved to Hawaii, I didn't go straight to go surf the best waves in North Shore. Instead, the first place I went was Waikiki. And by going to Waikiki and surfing every spot there's so many spots in that area. By surfing all those spots, I was getting to know the culture and getting to see how people catch the waves, the little body gestures people make when they're catching waves, the way they interact with each other, and just learning all kinds of stuff, little words they say to each other, and that stuff is so helpful. So I would start from Waikiki and work my way east, and then work my way west. And I was just going through the motions of going to the most beginner level waves and working my way up to the intermediate waves, and then getting closer and closer to more expert type of waves. So that's just kind of like the life of being a surfer. You don't just rush out there and try to jump on a board and paddle to we call it the outside, and just start catching waves. It's so, just to learn how to do all that stuff is so difficult. But instead, what we can do, like I did in Hawaii, is do all the basics first. Work on the fundamentals and get those down solid, so that when you eventually are good enough, you paddle to the outside and you can understand what people are doing out there instead of getting in their way. We don't even know it, but we'd be ruining a lot of people's waves by just paddling straight out. So one of the first things to feeling like you have a lot of limitations is knowing that on day one, you're not going to be paddling out to the outside. You're going to be hanging out in waist deep water. Or how about this? Let me go back to giving myself what I would tell myself to do if I was my 16-year-old self with the knowledge I have now. I'd tell myself, all right, go out to the waist deep water and don't go any further. I know there's a lot of surfers out there. I know you want to go outside, but don't go do that. Take your 10-foot board, say I weigh 235 pounds, and I'm trying to lose 35 of those, which I'll still be at 200. I'd still be riding I'd tell myself to go out on a 10-foot foam board, specifically a foam board. Take my 10-foot foam board and go hang out in waist deep water. And from there, I would tell myself, don't worry about when to catch the wave, how to catch the wave, what part of the wave to catch. Just go out there, go to waist deep water, learn to lay down on the board really lightly when you turn it around and point it towards shore, and then paddle all the way to shore. And do that. You know what? Do that like 3,000 times. I'm not real. I'm actually not kidding. Because knowing myself, I'd be like, all right, I got to 100. I'm ready. No, you're not. So there's so many things that you can learn how to do just by paddling in those 3,000 times, and just you'll eventually start learning how to catch the whitewash as it's coming to you, where the most powerful whitewash is, and you'll learn how to steer the board as you're laying on it. You learn all kinds of things, but one of the biggest things you'll learn is how to be comfortable in the water. And you'll also start developing like surf muscles, and you'll understand how the ocean is going to want to pull you and take you where it wants to. But you can learn how to work with it, and you can learn how to stand against it. So the biggest takeaway from having limitations, one, I think, is to get knowledge so you can have a better understanding of what you're going to see. Two, once you find out and research a bunch of knowledge, then go talk to the experts. Go talk to your local surf shop. that's going to be one of the episodes here. I used to own my own surf shop with one of my friends, and we eventually had tons of partners. But you can go and ask the surf shop owners a bunch of questions. You can ask the lifeguards a bunch of questions. You can get on Access Surf and ask them a bunch of questions, and then come out, lower your expectations. Hello. Lower your expectations and hang out in waist deep water. Start off with that, and gosh, I think you could have a lot of fun. Lastly, I gotta say it. You see how today is really nice? I know that this is kind of like a cheat thing. This is going to be way up in episode, I'm not sure what number episode, but it's going to be on the weather. These are the kind of days that you want to try to learn how to surf on. Not stormy, choppy, windy. If it's not even nice to hang out outside, just to hang out, then it's probably not a nice day to surf either. Right now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a flag up ahead, and it's not even moving. So that's going to mean smoother water surface, like we have here. So smooth water surface. There's no chance of rain today, and that's going to make for a pretty nice day. Also, if you try to learn how to surf in the summer, it's going to prevent you from needing really thick wetsuits. But if you are going to learn how to do it in the winter or fall, we'll have an episode up ahead that's about picking out the right type of wetsuit for the right kind of conditions. All right, so our next episode is going to be on self-evaluating our physical fitness, and that's going to be so if we know if we're even ready to go really do our first lesson. All right, so come check it out, and let's get working out.